Hey y'all, my name's Tyson, and this week we're going to talk about woodworking texture placement. Because we're talking about textures and materials, this will apply to more than just woodworking, but yes, we're going to take some textures and create unique textures from some boards and then apply those to a piece of furniture. And we're going to talk about some strategies that you might use to help making applying textures simpler. Let's get to it. All right, here is our basic piece of furniture that we're going to apply some textures to. Now let's have a look at the textures. I went out and you can see here are just a couple of flooring boards that I took a picture of. Now this was in the shadow, but it was out. This was in the shade, but it was outside. So there's some reflections here. This may or may not work well. Here's another version that I took inside our garage, and this might work better, but that's what we're working with. So let's drag both of those textures into SketchUp. So here I am in SketchUp, and I'm just dragging from my desktop. I'm going to drag this texture in, place it. I'm not going to worry too much about the scale. That seems about right. And drag this other one in. And I'm bringing both of these in because I like the oak here. I like this version better, but this one, this red, I'm not even sure what this is. Some kind of Brazilian cherry, maybe. I like this one better. To create a unique texture from anything like this, we're simply going to, we could explode it. So if I right click and explode, let me pull up materials. If I right click and explode, that's going to create that as a material, but we have a material that's this whole picture, and that's not what we want. We just want, say, this oak board. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that's roughly the same size. I'm not worried that it doesn't quite overlap because this is a picture in perspective. And then I'm going to right click on that inside face and say texture and position. And this brings up these pins. And if I right click again, I can set fixed pins or non-fixed pins. So I'm right clicking and toggling between these. I'm going to choose non-fixed pins, and that's going to let me grab by clicking once. And I'm roughly going to grab the corners. This doesn't have to be exact in this case. And these ones are already kind of set. But once I click and move those, then I'm going to click and drag with the mouse, and it's actually going to stretch that image. So I just want to stretch it so it fits my board a little bit better. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect unless you have a very specific board in mind. But I'll right click, say done. Now this texture, I can right click on it, go down to texture, go one more and say make unique texture. Now it has just that board, and if I drag out a large rectangle, I can select and paint that, just that wooden texture. Now you can see this is not a perfect tiling, there's very obvious seams here, but this is what we're going to work with because let's say this was, the type of wood that we had, and this is representative of what we needed. Creating a seamless texture is a different game. That's not what we're doing today. So I'm going to run through that really quick again. I'm going to take this image, right click, explode it. It creates that whole thing, but I'm going to draw a rectangle that's roughly the size of this board. Then right click on that interior texture, position. And because I already had changed the pins, they are non-fixed pins. They might be fixed pins. But I'm dragging these And then I'm going to drag either to the geometry itself or just large enough so that it stretches outside of this border. When I'm done with that, I exited out accidentally, but I would right click and say done. So I've got that ready. I'm going to go to texture. So I did it again. I'm going to go be one below texture and say make unique texture. All right, now I'm going to erase out the rest of this that I don't need. And you can see this one too. It's very light on this end and very dark on this end. That may not work perfectly, but we're going to see what we can do with it anyway. So we have our textures, and now we want to apply them to the model. So let's say we take the top here, and I'm selecting all the geometry. I pull up the paint bucket tool, and I sample my oak texture and paint it here. Now, the orientation of this is not what I want. Now, it's not hard to fix. I could right click just on this top surface. So I'm selecting, right click, say texture, position. Let's right click, go back 2 fixed pins and rotate this texture. Scale a little bit and make the placement something like that. Right click, say done. Okay, great. But what now do I do with the rest of it? So this leg, for example, if I want to paint this leg, I can't sample this one. That's not the right direction. Can't sample this one. That's not the right direction. So what we want to do, or what can be helpful, is to create what I don't know what to call them, some texture blocks where we'll create some orientation that will help us. So I'm just going to create, it doesn't matter the size. Oops, let's just say 16, or let's say 20 by 20. And bring it up. Again, the size doesn't really matter. Something like this. And I'm going to take this texture and apply it. And then I'm going to take just a few moments and orient the surfaces. Done. And let me split this face here so that I can have one texture going this way, the way it's going currently. And this one, I will sample below and paint it so it's going this direction. But let me go ahead and texture position, move this down a little bit. We'll see why in a moment. And then up here, it looks like it's going vertically. I think that's correct. Okay, good. Again, I'm going to move each of these a little bit differently. So now what we have is, if I wanted to paint the leg, instead of sampling from here or the top of the table, I can select the leg and sample from this side, which I know is vertical, and get a better placement from the start. Now, you can see, when I'm editing this group, these textures, they are not visible. So one thing that can help is to come in and just draw a little some indication here of the direction this is going. You could do something like this. I could actually make it an arrow. I could take more time and make this more interesting, but just for the sake of time, let's just be quick. I'll reverse this. So it's going that way. If I double click, I can select this, make it a component, and it's going to glue to any and cut an opening because of how it's set up. So I'll just create this. Let me copy and paste it here. paste it here and just move these. And this is just a reminder for, I can obviously remember what's going on right now, but maybe in the future, if I create a library out of these blocks, then this might be more helpful. And of course, if you wanted to take this one and you have a need to have a diagonal one, whatever you find is necessary. But now when I go over here and I say I need to apply to here, which side do I sample? Well, I can see by my arrows. I'll sample this one and apply it. We'll grab this one and sample here and apply. Now, when I moved this texture different from this one, partially, it will wrap around. And this is why I move those, because if I select this and I say, select this, paste it, and I have this kind of bad seam, I could just try sampling this one and I still have a seam, but it's better. Either way, you may still need to come in, go to texture position, and do a little bit of tweaking. And then once you have that, I'll select all the geometry again, sample, and paint, and that will wrap it more correctly. So that's the idea. We could obviously do the same thing here with this piece, create another block. I'll just group this and then create another block, go into this sample here. And of course I need to do some tweaking to make this usable the way we were doing. But that's the idea. This may be useful. It may be something that you don't need, but if it is useful, you can take these textures that you've created and start to build out a library for them, for just having all of these pieces that you can then bring in and use. So if I take this one, sample from here, paint, and I'll take from this one, sample from here, paint it. I did not fix this one yet. Okay, so I'm going to sample from here, then come over. Just getting ahead of myself a little bit. And in this one, these pieces would be vertical, so maybe those, I'd sample from here. That's the idea. I hope that makes sense. I do find it useful when you're applying wood and you need to be cognizant of the texture of the grain direction. And so it can be useful to create kind of just some sampling blocks like this. All right, so again, I hope that was useful. I think it's kind of fun to play around with. Let us know what you thought, and let us know if you actually have a better idea or if you apply materials in a different way. We would love to have the discussion with you. And if you have other ideas of what you'd like to see us create here, let us know that too, because we want to build these videos so that they're useful for you. Please do subscribe, and we'll see you next time.